Any sound? Yes. Thank you. So, can you hear me? Yeah, I think the network adapter that I use to connect my laptop to the network is having trouble maintaining the connection with the Dante network. But hopefully I will be able to maintain the stream for a little while. Okay, so yeah, this is the first official episode of Patching at 3 a.m. Thank you all for joining me. Hello, Vert. Hello, Eric. Hello, lots of people. Clearly, I'm a little bit nervous as I don't naturally talk to people, but yeah, again, thank you everyone for joining me. So, this is my studio, home of Broom of Doom Productions, and where all the fantastic 3 a.m. music gets made. You can see you've been looking at the main cockpit for a while, and I also have to another direction some Eurorack stuff, some Soma Pulsar 23. I've got a bunch of patch cables, some Pro 3, Octatrack, analog rhythm, big old surge system back here, some more effects processors and things. And then over here, you got the keyboard wall, Hydra, Nordlead, Ambika, Tasty Chips GR1, Prophet P6, my Quantum, of course, the ARP 2600 in its honorable place on the ground, and then the Buchla system. And so yeah, that's the main control room here, and I have a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It's kind of the dream studio that I'd always hoped to build, and you know, it seems limitless at sometimes. So on the computer side, let's see if this works. So on the computer side, here I can see the chat when I'm looking at the computer. And yeah, I would really love it if Orion would drop in right now, but I think he's napping in the sunroom. Yeah, so how am I routing my effects and the eventide on the desk here? The answer to that is Dante. Dante is a network protocol created by a company called Audinate, and they create interfaces that connect to your network and are part of A to D converters, D to A converters, and all sorts of audio goodness. So my main audio interface is underneath the desk. It's a RedNet TNX, and that handles all the I/O that goes in and out of my computer. So the RedNet TNX has 128 receivers and 128 transmitters. And those receivers and transmitters are all connected to various different converters, and the Eventide H9000 happens to be one of those. The Eventide connects through the Dante network and provides me with 32 inputs and outputs, which I can then further route to effects and things through the Oh, good. This was working earlier, but now it's not. This is Eventide's emote software, and it's an editor that gives me the ability to control the H9000, control its routings, and it sees it. Why isn't it talking? Okay, well. Moving on, it's not really important to see the emote software to understand that. It's I can the H9000 of course has analog inputs and outputs, which are connected into the patch bay. So if I want to patch, my Octatrack into an effect or the surge system into an effect, I can just do that right in the patch bay. But when I'm working on a mix or something like that, I really want to keep it in the digital domain as much as possible. And so, I have a lot of the Eventide's I/O on sends, or I can just as easily move them to be inserts. I may even have some of those effects on my voice, maybe? Can you hear that? I'm not actually monitoring anything right now. Yeah, okay. It's pretty trippy, right? We're having fun. So tons of I/O, and that is key to the way I work. It's really, really important because I kind of feel like if anything is not instantly accessible, if it requires any time to set up, it's going to be used less than something that is immediately available to me. So like the only reason that this amount of gear is possible to be used is because everything's accessible via MIDI, everything's accessible the inputs and outputs, and whenever I need to patch something in, it's a few clicks away, or a patch cable away. Without that, it is yeah, cavernous. That's that's good. That's good. Let's see. Maybe I have an even more cavernous sound effect. I don't know which one. Hello, hello. Anyway, so let's see. Were there any questions about a specific synth? I could start demoing stuff because, I was hoping for analog versus digital, not hybrid business. Yeah. Well, I can, we could just yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. It's all fun stuff. And that is all I give a shit about is it something that I can have fun with? And, a lot of the things that I can have fun with are, toys, and, a lot of the tools that I have, are just part of the process. But yeah, I guess, I could show you a few more specific things. Go back here. And then, so that's when I'm working on mixing and mastering stuff, it's typically that rack right there. These two units, the API 2500 and the API 5500, that's a compressor and an EQ. I'm running my voice and everything that you're hearing through it right now. And I think it sounds really nice. Use that for the drum bus, for the master bus a lot. Also, up here you have a pair of Lola preamps, and then a suite of Elysia processors, a compressor, a distortion kind of deal, and an EQ. And those are also really great for particularly electronic drums. It just gives everything like a really intense and dense sound. You can do some nice vocoder shenanigans. I was kind of thinking about hooking up the vocoder, but I told myself not to be too ambitious for this one. Oh, hey, Plug. Okay, enthusiastic. That's you. Okay, that's good to know. Oh yes, the over in Surge Land. I don't want to freaking block the camera, and of course I'm just like rolling all over the whatchamacallit, the cables. I don't even know the word for cables. Why is the camera not moving? Yeah, okay, so there's some Bug Brand. There's some old frack in there too. If you see, there's a wired noise ring and a wired board filter. Those are original wired 1200 series modules. The VCO and the Mini Wave are also, I believe, at least Grant Richter did some work with on those. The Time Machine down there is a great analog delay. But that system in general is, I mean, it's such a inspiring thing to use. You know what? Why don't I let you hear it? You know, I think there's some stuff going on. Let me see. Yeah, I need to put the headphones back on so that I can hear, but I can't talk with the headphones because there's too much latency. Yeah, there's something going on there, right? I'm using this Bastille Time module. Let me see, can I? Yeah, there we go. It's a little delay with different presets. But what's happening with the modular right now is actually kind of interesting, if you want me to talk about that. I'm using the note grid in Bitwig to generate a little pattern, but then it's also being transposed by the TKB sequencer down here. Yeah, so I can kind of transpose the sequence, make it higher, make it lower. Yeah, you know, the Surge is a really inspiring instrument to use for me. I gotta take these headphones off. So what else do we got? Let's see. Get out of the grid here. Yeah, the Bastille stuff is all fantastic. The Micro Granny and the Time Plus are just tons and tons of fun. What are the modules on the middle rack up the sequencer? Those are a bunch of Eurorack modules, like DIY Eurorack modules that I had built a couple of years ago that I put into did my best Rick and Morty there. Did you hear that? That kind of burp in between words. Yeah, it's I put banana jacks onto a bunch of Eurorack modules, and Eurorack uses the same power standard basically as Surge, so they talk pretty well together. So yeah, there's some like Buchla clones and Matrix Mixer, some more random source surge because I couldn't fit enough into the 4U. More low pass gates. Just, I mean, who doesn't love low pass gates, right? They look like PGH modules. Yeah, well, they have those big. I don't know what else they're used on, but they're a large knob that has that shiny surface that Pittsburgh Modular used. Yeah, I really like that look. But at times I'm like, maybe I should switch back to the Davies. I don't know, but I don't know. It's knobs, right? Low pass gates versus high pass gates, which is better? Well, I'd say that you use them for different things. Low pass gate is, a pretty common West Coast kind of function. High pass gate is something that's pretty specific to like make noise with the QMMG and the MMG. One's based on a high pass filter, the other's based on a low pass filter, and yeah, so it's just a little different. If you were able to choose a few, what are your top 3 modules? Top 3 modules, that's a really difficult question, but I've said for a long time that if I only had like a few modules, if I had to get rid of like everything else, it would probably be, and here, I'll go over here. It would probably be the QMMG, Maths, and the Woggle Bug. I would really want to be able to fit a Hertz donut in there too. But if I can only choose 3, those 3 modules are capable of a lot of weird sounds. What is your process for writing sequences? It depends. The 2600 does count as a big module. That's true. Okay, so that would be in there too. So sequences. It changes. It depends on the track. If I'm working with the Euro rack, I've got this vector sequencer right here. If I'm working on drums, it's almost always the Octatrack and the analog rhythm. In fact, I have a second Octatrack, a Mark I version that I only use for live because it's that important to the way I work. So yeah, once I've created like some phrases and some ideas of different varying timescales, so to say, I'll typically bring those samples back to the Octatrack and then start composing them into something like a song. And yeah, the Vector is a great sequencer. I mean, I use it to control MIDI in addition to using it to control CV devices. I've got it, I think, let's see, controlling the Ambika right now, and possibly also the Zero Coast. Let's just, maybe I'll just play around with some things for a few minutes. I'm gonna mute myself. Yeah, so the Ambica has SVF filters. I wanted the flexibility to have high pass and band pass on there. And I really think those filters suit it. I've used the SMR4 filters before, and they're more beefy, definitely. But I have other beefy synths, and I just didn't really need it for that. Yeah, again, taking the headphones latency. He makes it look so easy. Yeah, no, I mean, some of this was already running. I think some of these patterns are from songs that I worked on a little while ago, and so it was kind of a nice surprise to turn on to arm some tracks, and it's like, oh yeah, that works. Let's just play with that a little bit. Yeah, I'm sure. The snare was almost certainly coming from the analog rhythm, so again, almost certainly filtered noise. Love those kinds of sounds. And yeah, I mean, synthesis, man, right? Synthesis, like, creating a sound from circuitry. It's, I love samples, always working with samples, right? But I also really like working with things at as low a level as possible and just kind of digging in and figuring out how it works and kind of basing how I use things on that understanding. I don't know. Let's see what yeah, absolutely. What is the hardware device that you have below the sequencer has a color screen? Where did I put the remote? Oh, there it is. Okay. Which sequence? Wait. Which hardware device? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Plug the has a color screen. Oh! You're talking about the Helix underneath the surge sequencer, right? Yeah, that's the Line 6 Helix, which is a really really underrated signal processor. It's it has sends and returns that are intended for connecting external pedals to it, but you can also use those sends and returns as just like line level inputs and outputs. So it has its main two inputs and outputs for effects, but then it has 4 more sets of inputs and outputs for effects, and you can just plug whatever you want into those, and it's like having a bunch of digital stomp boxes. Below, get out of the way of that side of things. There's an orange set of modules down at the very bottom, and those are intended for connecting pedals to line level inputs and outputs. And like, I really really enjoy using kind of lo-fi effects processors during the mixing process. It has a really unique vibe. It adds a bunch of noise a lot of the times, but those EXTC interfaces help a lot with reducing the amount of noise and making sure that the impedance levels are right, so that it sounds as good as it can, but it still has that kind of lo-fi character. Yes, the webcam is an OBS bot. Katie asked, do you also use the analog rhythm to sequence your modules? Not really. Usually when I'm using the analog rhythm, it's just sequencing itself, but I do frequently run the outputs into the filters and stuff in the modular, and then bring it back in. And the master distortion and compressor on the analog rhythm are really cool. So I kind of use that as an outboard effect itself. But yeah, I usually, if I'm working in the Eurorack or the Surge, I'm sequencing kind of within that system. Thank you for not using the body close-ups. It could get awkward. Yeah, no, I have. I'm wearing this black shirt so that you don't see how out of shape I am. I don't need any more attention on my body than I already get. But yeah, okay, so we're 30 minutes in. I think I have talked about as long as I am able to before getting anxious and weird. I really, really appreciate everybody hanging out and checking out my studio with me. And I hope to do it again sometime in the future. I would have liked to take you guys out to the sunroom where I have my live room, where I can kind of set up temporary jam stations. I have mic pre's and things like that. And, maybe we'll do like a guitar amp session or something like that. The next stream is going to feature our good friend George from LA Synth Club. D. Maxwell is going to be our guest, and he's going to do a little performance for us. And yeah, thanks so much. This has been another Patching at 3 a.m. Have a great day, everybody.